I'm Bruce Crain, and I'm here today for the Evansville Wartime Museum to interview Marilyn Crain. Marilyn, we thank you for taking the time to talk with us today, and I'm going to ask you if you could introduce yourself by telling us your full name, where you were born, when you were born, and then maybe about your younger life.
My name is Marilyn Luco Crain. I was born on February 25th, 1936 in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, at the hospital there. We lived in a little town about 7 miles away. And this is in Itasca County where the Mississippi River starts. So that's my claim to fame. When I was about 7 years, or six or seven, we moved to Minneapolis because my dad got transferred down there with the railroad, and we lived there till about 1950, through the war. So we ultimately lived in a little suburb called Spring Lake Park, which is not a little suburb anymore, but it's just quite different. And went to school there through 8th grade. And then I went to high school in Duluth Central. We moved up to Duluth. My dad went to work up there. So, and I got married quite young. I think I was 20, and had 4 children. And I married someone from Evansville, and that's how I got down here.
Okay.
He was in the Air Force up there. We had a big Air Force base.
So, you married while he was in the Air Force?
Yeah,
there.
for a few months. So we married in the summer, and he got out in December.
Gotcha.
So, and I lived here and spent several years in Florida, and when my parents were terminally ill, I went up to Milwaukee and stayed with them for a couple of years, stayed up there a couple of years to help take care of them.
So, as a child, you lived through World War II. Do you have any remembrances of the war from your childhood?
Yes, I sure do. I remember when the war started. I remember listening to the radio, which we did a lot at that point, and they're telling that the Japanese had bombed Pearl Harbor, and I think that most of us, and especially as a child, we really didn't think that was going to happen, even though they kept telling us, that it was possible. And my dad both his parents were immigrants from Germany, and he had some remembrance of the First World War and how that all the pictures of his ancestors that they had in the house disappeared during that time, and there was a lot of anti-German in the First World War. So, but I don't remember any of that in the Second World War. So I don't know. I know that because there was 3 of us kids, my mother always had a lot of sugar, and people came constantly to borrow a cup of sugar from her, and because of the rationing.
Right.
And so, but I don't think I was ever really much afraid during the war, as much as I was in the 50s when they had the bomb to worry about.
The Cold War period.
Yeah. So.
Okay, and then after you married and you moved to Evansville, then tell us some about your life here in Evansville.
Okay, well, for about 7 or 8 years, I was just a mother. I just stayed at home and with my children. And then I went to work for a couple of doctors for a while. And after I was divorced in 1972, I worked at St. Mary's Hospital for 10 years. And then I went to Milwaukee, where I worked for 6 surgeons. Very, very good job, and I really enjoyed it. It was very nice. And then after my parents both passed away, I came back to Evansville. So.
And are all your children here in Evansville?
Well, I lost my youngest son in last December.
I'm sorry.
And I have 2 that live here, one up the road here a mile, my daughter, and I have a son that lives in Evansville. And well, Tammy has retired, her husband, and Michael is still working. He's what do you call it? I sure hope you can edit this stuff. He's what do you call it? He manages rental properties, and then I have a son that lives my oldest son, and also retired, that lives in Columbus, Indiana, and he has 2 sons, 2 of my grandsons, one who lives there with his wife, and they have my only great-grandson, 2 years old, exactly the joy of my life, of course. And then, like I say, they're retired, so they and my daughter and son-in-law too, they do quite a bit of traveling and stuff. So, and I tell them that's what I think they should do.
All right. Well, is there anything else you'd like to tell us? That, do you have any advice you would give to young people today?
Oh, I don't know. What was it? I say, I just remember how kind everybody was to everyone about just about anything. I mean, they all helped each other through. I can remember a little bit of the Depression, and during the war, you know. I just remember, you know, particularly the sugar situation, because people didn't have any sugar, and and people looked out for each other. They weren't like they are now. I guess that's a normal thing for old people to say, but
I think I see that even in my lifetime. I
Uh-huh.
think I've seen that change.
Yeah. Well, and you know, and I can remember my grandmother. She was about as tall as I was, and she was a little lady, but she was the matriarch, and everybody bowed low. Her son-in-laws, you know, and everything. And you don't see that respect for old people now. And they just, but she was quite a character too.
Well, I sure thank you for your time today and for sharing your history with us. And I think it's important for us to document the histories of people that have lived in this country and the things they've done for the future generations to know.
Are you getting some good with this program, I guess? Are you getting